Okay, so I purchased this Bosch router kit. It comes with the fixed base and the plunge base. I think I've had it for a couple weeks, but I didn't open it until now because I didn't have any router bits. I think I got a really good deal on it. I think it averaged about, I think it was about $215 when I first saw it months ago. And then I think I recently saw it for $219. Pretty much everywhere you went. But when I bought it, I actually got it at Home Depot, and the only reason I got it at Home Depot was because I have PayPal, and I use PayPal credit, and Home Depot uses PayPal credit, so I was able to get it. It was on sale, I believe, for, gosh, I can't remember. I think it was $179, but it just so happened. A little scratch on here. It just so happened that at that moment there was a promotion, and I want to say it wasn't just at Home Depot. I want to say it was other stores too, because I remember around that time I kept seeing it pop up at different stores for around the same price, 170 something. But so at Home Depot they had it for 179, I believe it was. But then it said that if you spend $100 or more on Bosch products, you'd get another $20 off. So that was $159. So with tax and then free shipping, I ended up paying $172 and some change for it. And this is one of the routers that I always had my eye on ever since I started researching and trying to get into woodworking. You know, I had my eye on some other ones. I looked at the Ryobi because I've had Ryobi products in the past, and they worked well for me, kind of budget friendly. Well, they were back then anyway. I looked at a Hitachi one that I think it also came with a plunge base, but there was something about the Bosch one that I really liked. I see a lot of people use it. I've really heard no complaints about it. I mean, I love the design. I love the wood handles. Anyway, before I start rambling on, I got it at a great deal, but the only thing was that this router did not come with any bits, and I didn't have any bits. And there's a guy that used to sell at the swap meet that I sell on weekends, and he used to have like Freud, I think, or Diablo bits, and he used to sell them for very cheap. I think like $3 a piece, and I think these were like store returns maybe, but some of the stuff that he sells is in really good shape. So he's no longer going there, so I'm gonna have to hunt him down. So I was in the next town a few days ago, which is mostly where the big stores are, you know, the Lowe's and the Home Depot and all that stuff, Harbor Freight. We have a couple of hardware stores here in town, but honestly, you know, I might have to pay them a visit and see what they have as far as router bits. But you know, it's easier to go to the Home Depot or the Lowe's. So anyway, long story short, I ended up going to Harbor Freight just to see what they had in router bits, and what I did find was these Warrior router bits, which I'm sure some of you are already familiar with. So this one's missing the keyhole bit, so it was marked down from $769 to $598, right, which is already really cheap. And you know, they say you get what you pay for. I knew what I was getting into, but I just wanted to test my router, make sure everything was okay, nothing wrong with it, so I didn't have to return it since I've had it for a while. And so, you know, I didn't mind not having that keyhole. I just needed something to test my router with. So when I get to the counter, the guy actually gave me another 20% discount. I usually carry my coupons, but this time I didn't have them with me. But I didn't even say anything. He just added a 20% discount on top of that. So I paid like $5.15, a little something like that. So you know what? Maybe if you divide that up into the 4 pieces, you know, they come to nothing practically. I'm obviously going to keep these router bits. I'm going to test the rest of them right now. I'm going to test the plunge base as well. I've already routed this piece here. Keep in mind, this was from like an old outside bench that you know, succumb to the elements already. So this board is not straight at all. But you know, I think it did a really decent job. Honestly, I expected it to be rougher. I expected it to not do such a great job. I'm sure it has to do with the router itself. That, you know, it has some power to it. I think it goes up to 25,000 RPMs. And these bits say that not to exceed 27.5. So I think it did a better job than I expected. This is my first time using a router, and I think it did a great job. You know, if this was some project that I was actually working on, you know, I'd still have to sand that out. But anyway, if you're in the same position as me, where maybe you got yourself a router, you don't have any bits, you want to test your router out, or you just want to do some something very simple. These are, I mean, I'm assuming these are pretty much disposable router bits. You know, I'll be lucky if it lasts me a year. But you know, I took advantage of the deal, took advantage of this deal, and I have to say I'm pretty happy with it. I'm gonna continue testing the other base and the other bits. This one has the gosh, I forget what these are called. The bearing here guide, the bearing guide, I think that's what it's called. And these don't. So this, like I said, this is my first time using a router, so I'm gonna be very careful with it. But overall, I'm very happy with my purchase, and I think what I'm gonna title this video is, you know, using the Bosch router with the Warrior bits. As soon as I find this guy, or as soon as I get a little more money, I'm obviously gonna invest in better bits as I go along. I have no problem paying full price as long as, you know, I get a quality product. But if you can find a deal, why not? You know, go with it. So let's test that plunge base and see what happens with these bits.